Welcome to video 10 on our online course called A Path to Stability. If I was subtitling it, I would call it A Path to a Quality Life. We are really coming down to the end of the course. I hope that you have enjoyed and benefited from it. I encourage you to take notes and to take practice and apply. Feel free to send me a note if you have questions or if you have comments, but I want to hone in on wrapping this up and giving you some tools to really help. One of the things that I'm going to do today is really summarize kind of the whole process of transforming our pain. One of the challenges that we face are the limitations as human beings of the things that happen to us and what we go through in life, which becomes a major limitation in us moving forward. What we need to do is transform our pain. So I'm going to get right into it. Be sure you go back and listen to previous videos because there's a lot of information here, and I'm keeping the videos to 10 minutes. In transforming our pain, which we all have to deal with, there are some steps that I want to give you today as we wrap the series up in the next 2 or 3 videos. The first step is you have to acknowledge that there is pain. We've talked about how people deny their pain or deny their suffering. They use pain medications. Well, you have to acknowledge it, that it does exist. It takes a lot of courage to do that, but that is really the first step. If you don't acknowledge that you have pain in your life, then you don't have any chance of making any headway at all. It's going to be a liability in your life kind of ongoing. Step number 2, after you acknowledge it, you have to accept it. You have to accept it. Again, moving beyond ignoring, denying, running, and those things, you have to acknowledge that, look, it's a real part of my life. Things happen to me that maybe I couldn't control or I could. It hurts, and it's resurfacing. It's impacting my relationships. It's impacting my performance. It's impacting my creativity, and so you accept your pain is what you do. A very important step. Don't breeze past that. People don't want to deal with pain. Don't want to talk about it. They'll move to a new state. They'll go spend money, do anything but deal with it. But here we are. So 1 was acknowledging, 2 is accepting it. Number 3 is to embrace it. Now that's going to sound a little strange. You actually have to embrace your pain. Yes, you do. And because the reason is you have to spend time with it. You have to acknowledge, look, your feelings, your thoughts give you major clues regarding where you are and what you are doing. And so you have to take time. You will cheat yourself if you don't embrace it. As you embrace it, some things will really begin to take place. But there's no need. You can do that without being angry. You can do that without flipping out and going overboard. One of the tools that I've been helping you with down through the series is attention to our breath, or practicing present moment, or practicing awareness. That helps you to be able to create space between you and your pain so that you can embrace it. But you have to do that. It's an important part of your life. If you don't do it, there is no one else that can. A 4th thing that you have to do, and this can only come as a result of you spending time with it, or if you embracing it and then you're spending time. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to, but you want to be aware and see where you really are and look at what's really happening in your life. Step 4 is to understand it. This is the key to transforming our pain. You have to understand it. See, if you don't acknowledge it, accept it, and embrace it, then you won't understand it. The key to understanding your pain is dealing with the major issue of causation. I've said this to you before in a previous video. Pain doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't get better with time any more than your car transmission will just fix itself. You say, well, that's ridiculous because you have to go to a mechanic. There are things you have to do. You are no different, except you are far more complicated than a car. And so what you have to do is that you really have to take the time so that you can really understand it. Counseling, be it clinical or pastoral or other types, are all designed to help you come to an understanding. One of the reasons that counseling fails in a lot of instances is because people are given information, but they never come to an understanding to see where they really are. And so you have to deal with causation. You may have to think and look back. When did it start? These are things you may want to think about. What are the triggers that bring it back to the forefront? All those will be clues, but you have to ask yourself these questions. You have to think about it, look at it. Why? When does it flare up? Why am I so upset? Because your pain could just take you, throw you off, make you frightened of a relationship that might be healthy. It can cause you not to move forward when you should. So it's very, very important that you look at causation. In any solution-based focus regarding anything, you have to figure out what the problem is and why it really exists. And so many times we blow past things and try to get the solutions and get quick fixes. There is no quick fix. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand your own heart, understand your own mind, and understand your own emotions. That'll be very, very important. The fifth thing that you'll want to do is, after you understand it, then you have to transform it. You have to transform it. That is the fifth thing. And so in transforming it, then you're dealing with tactics of sowing and reaping, which I'm going to talk about actually in the next video. Once you understand it and you can see where it is, then you have to change where you're putting your attention, your energy, and your efforts so that you can really make a difference. In order for you to move forward and to be strong and to be solid and to be balanced and to be stable, which is the series, A Path to Stability, or in order to have a quality life, which is our subtitle, then you cannot do that if you're in agony. You cannot do that if you got triggers going off all the time that's pulling you away from your purpose, that's taking your attention away from what you're supposed to be doing. You have to really be able to deal with that, which is very, very important. So we're going to talk about in our next video transforming your pain, the process. I'm going to talk about reciprocity in pain. Before we get there, let me just again remind you that one of the most powerful things that you can do, and hear me when I say this is not being deep. We think that meditation is some off the cuff, out of the way thing that you do. No, practicing meditation and awareness brings you to sanity. It is a shame that most of us live our lives lost in our head, not able to really deal with reality. But what this does is calms you down. So I want you to just stop right where you are. I want you to pause. I want you to relax, whether you're sitting up, sitting back, right where you are. Allow your body to just settle. And I want you to begin to follow your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. And let your attention be on the flow, that miracle flow of your breath. Cool air coming in, warm air leaving. And that puts you in place with the rhythm of life, and just relax. And as you're in that state, it'll shift your level of consciousness where you really walk in a more peaceful state. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. On YouTube, you can click subscribe to the channel. You know when new ones come out. Thank you. My website is rogerckelly@live.com, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.